the lifestyle show where we learn how to self-coach our way through life to increase self-awareness without judgment. That's me, your host and coach, Kibibe Bailey. Safe space conversations, storytelling, and journey sharing. This is the Glow Up Tribe podcast. Hello and welcome to the Glow Up Tribe. Let me just say that again. The Glow Up Tribe podcast. This podcast is all about the art of self-coaching, which applies to everybody. That's it. Self-coaching is such a valuable tool and it's something that's not really discussed as much. So that's why I want to do a podcast on it. I always do the different thing, so that's why we're here. This podcast is all about inspiration, personal development, growth, deep chats. I'm a deep person, okay? I rarely do. Okay, I'm a bit of a clown as well, but I do surface chats, but that's very rare compared to my deep chats. And so, yeah, it's about raising self-awareness. There's a lot of things, but it's all, this is all very valuable stuff that I want to talk about. So I'm your host, I'm your presenter, I'm your coach, I'm your friend, if you want me to be. I'm all of those things. And I'm just happy to do this podcast. And I think the beautiful thing about this podcast for me is that it's going to be like an actual document of my own life. Because as I sit here right now, my finances are a bit peak right now. I'm not really in the best financial position. I know it's a lot for a lot of us anyway in general, but yeah, I'm kind of going through my stages of finances and trying to, money management and having to say no to a lot of things. And then I'm also sat here and I'm also thinking about 6 months ahead, a year ahead. Do I stay in this country? I've got no kids at the moment, no dependents. Do I stay in this country and try to make something for myself here, or do I just do the thing and go away and move countries? There's that right now as well. And then I'm also thinking about this business needing to be a success. I've tried several other businesses before, they failed, and this needs to be a success. So there's a lot I'm going through in my own life and journey, but I'm also wanting to share that. That's the thing. I don't want to necessarily hide that. This podcast is coaching centered, but I'm also probably going to be coached through this as well. So it's a great thing, win-win. So just a bit about me. So I became ICF certified, which is International Coaching Federation certified, 5 years ago. I started the coaching. I knew I wanted to help people. I just didn't know how, but I knew it was coaching. And one thing I love about coaching as well is that it's about behavior changes. It's about taking a person from where they are right now and moving them forward. And it's all about as well the person's own inherent wisdom. So the coaches, they're not your teachers. They're not here to advise you. They are here to literally pull out the answers that you already have. And so I did that for a year. And I thought, okay, I think I got overwhelmed with the idea of starting a business back then. I was just like, where do I start? I don't even know what I wanted to coach in. And so I thought, okay, I'll do this in maybe later life. Then pandemic hits. Then next thing you know, I'm getting grey hairs in my head. And I'm like, do you know what? I need to go back to this now. I need to pick this up and I need to make this work. I still have a passion for it. Of course, I've spent money. I've invested into myself. Let's try to even get the return on investment. So yeah, that's my story with coaching. I believed in doing the whole certification thing and doing it properly. I didn't want to just say I'm a coach just randomly one day. And I've actually got a media background. So lights, camera, action, scripts, putting shoots together, that's something that I'm used to. I used to be a production manager, producer. And I even did my own show, which I grieved for some years, but it was called Candid Conversations. And long story short, I might get into it in another podcast, but got into some drama there. But definitely lessons learned, okay? And that's why I sit on this sofa on my own today. Believing in my own source and just really wanting to kind of make a go of this for myself. So I chose authenticity coaching because as I look back at my own life, I see that I've always been trying to find myself. And as I'm getting older as well, And I spend a lot of time on my own, not in a scary way though, but I spend a lot of time on my own. And I've really built up, I didn't realize this, but I built up a lot of self-awareness in myself. And so I just thought, I mean, some of the things that stand out for me with regards to finding my authentic self as I look back on my career is that I left one job, which was kind of decent. It was well paid. And I had a good relationship with my bosses at the time. And I was a PA and I left that job. I think I was on 35K or something. And I left that job for 10K less, which is unheard of really, to go and pursue a talent management role, which to be honest, that didn't really work out for me. 3 months later, the job ended. I also remember as well, one of the worst moments of my whole life, this will be something that I tell my children, that I got spat in the face because of my values. I was, maybe call me nosy, maybe call me a bit interfering, but I'm very much justice orientated. That's one of my values. And someone was kind of being pickpocketed on the bus, and I tried to indicate, I tried to use a bit of wisdom, tried to tell the lady subtly. Anyway, the guy that was trying to pickpocket her saw that I was communicating with her, and he didn't even ask me any questions. He just spat in my face and told me something about my mum. When I tell you I've never wanted to be in a gang so much, I've never wanted to be in a gang so much. All I could call was my mum and brother. Mum was saying, pray for him. I was like, pray for who? And my brother was just, he's not Rose. He was just like, he was with his friend at the time, and he said, you know, someone spat in my sister's face, and that's all he could say, you know. And so, yes, I found myself in floods of tears, and very sad. But I look back at that moment now, and I'm like, that was me. That was my authentic self coming through. That in the face of something like that, I was like, that justice is not right. So yeah, authenticity. When I came across that, I was like, yeah, this is me. This is me. I can really do something for the rest of my life with this, and really help others to find their values and who they are, and take off the layers of responsibilities and job titles and roles, and really get into who they are at their core. So yeah, I'm excited. Guys, even as I say that, I'm like, I'm getting jittery, but I'm really excited about being an authenticity coach and adding value to people's lives. That just, oh my gosh. So some of my favorite podcasts to listen to, just a bit about me. I definitely would not spend my time. I'm very much about my time. I tell you, like, it's the most precious commodity to me, which is, it's for everyone, but I just place such a value on my time. I only listen to full-length podcasts that add value to my life. I love Mel Robbins, who is like my auntie, white woman, okay? But she's my auntie, okay? She doesn't know it, but she is my auntie. I feel like every time I listen to her podcast, it's just so on point. It's always about self-improvement, reflection, insight, really, really valuable stuff. And so I've come across her recently, but yeah, I will definitely be always tuning in and listening to what she has to say. And then there's also Real Social Proof as well. I feel like they're my online tribe community, always got relevant and very real stuff about entrepreneurial endeavors. So some of my own improvements that I am looking at right now in my own life are, I want to be more curious. Curiosity is the opposite of judgment. And I just find that even in my day-to-day convos with my girls, even today, I'm just finding that judgment is sometimes so at the forefront of people's mind. I don't think they even realize. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to judge people. I know I judge a lot of people as I'm driving in my car. That's the place that is still being worked on by God, okay? But I still want to have an open mind and curious mind with regards to people. I just feel like judgment really just shuts doors. It just makes us like blindsided and blinkered. And it's just like, there's so many different possibilities. Another thing that I'm working on as well, and that's come up for me recently, is friendships. I'm in a moment right now where I feel like there's a lot of shifting around me, and I feel like I know a lot of people, but not necessarily on a deeper level. And I feel like that's something I really want to get. And I'm talking about those friends, solid friends that season by season they're in your life, not the people that are just, seasonal. I mean, as in like, throughout life, every moment of life. Those are the friendships that I want to build on a deeper level. So who is this podcast for? It's people who are easily triggered, maybe people that struggle with anger. Maybe you're too emotional and you're very reactive and you kind of think with your feelings first. Your feelings have the final say of what you do. People that are people pleasers, struggle to say no and lack boundaries, who actually are my target audience as well. So that'll be fantastic if you do listen. And in general, people that want to improve their lives, they know that there's so much more that they want to be, do, have, and they are genuinely interested in glowing up. I was going to say growing up. Okay, we could all grow up in some areas, I guess. But yeah, they're interested in glowing up for themselves, not for anybody else, but for themselves. Self-coaching itself, here's something I found online. Really good way to put it. Self-coaching is a way of being able to better understand your heart and mind, like being a non-judgmental observer of your inner world. The gift of self-coaching allows you to become a better performer as you develop this skill and allow yourself to grow. It can be described as the path to self-mastery. Self-coaching is a way to improve self-awareness. Let me just say that again. When I tell you, self-awareness is so key. It's so key. And empower oneself to bring about changes in his or her attitude, behavior, or performance to unleash their true potential in various aspects of his or her life. It helps individuals to overcome challenges and reset themselves in turbulent times. Sealer on that. So why I started this podcast? I was initially apprehensive about it. As I said, I know that I have a production background. I'm not afraid of cameras, lights, anything like that. But I was apprehensive because I was like, podcast. And I'm maybe it's just who I follow, but I see a lot of trash out there. And I'm like, really? We're spending money to talk about these things? Okay, cool. This is not for me. It feels overly saturated, but at the same time, a lot of things are saturated right now. I just think it's just about making the decision to just go with it. So that's what I decided. And I think for me, the purpose of doing this and the pros far outweigh the cons. So I don't know who needs to hear my voice, but somebody needs to hear my voice for such a time as this. So that's why I'm here. Also, as well, another thing that put me off of this podcast or podcasting in the area of coaching is that there were just so many dry and bland coaching podcasts out there. I listened to a few as my listening on a daily. And I mean, my gosh, monotone. My gosh, like no vibrancy, no excitement, no, okay, cool. But yeah, you just can't have my attention for 45 minutes. I'm really sorry, but I just switch off in the first minute. And so I knew I could do something different. I'm all about even speaking well and everything else. And so it's just about bringing my full self, authentic self to this podcast. So this podcast is going to be weekly. And I haven't figured out the release days yet, but yes, it's going to be a weekly podcast. I think what people can expect from this show is, not just real deep chats, but insight, real day-to-day stuff. And the things that I'm going to be talking about with these guests on this lifestyle podcast are things that we might not even know about, such as maybe someone that's a young widow or someone that has maybe been declared bankrupt at some point in their life. Things that happen to people along this way, along their own journeys. And I think as well, you can expect a lot of laughs. I've been laughing at myself even just by myself. So of course there's going to be laughter with other people. Tears even. I'm sure some of the questions that are going to be posed, the challenges in these questions, even me getting my own kind of, I guess in the moment, I know there's going to be tears. I just know the person that I am. And yeah, there's going to be tears. I'll be interviewing some real good guests. So some friends, some people that are industry people. I am a creative, as I said, and that's really where I really enjoy and thrive. And I love entertainment. So it's probably going to be a lot of industry people coming through. People that I think we'd maybe all like to know a bit more about. I hope that they would see this place as just as you, as the listener, as the viewer, as a safe space. That's what I want here, is a safe space, judgment-free zone, and a place that people can really lay themselves bare. And then I've also got resources. I'm going to have resources on my website. There's going to be free resources just as from being a coach that I'd love to give to you, things that are going to help you level up, things that are going to be connected to a particular podcast episode. So where can you find the Glow Up Tribe? So all social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and then we have the website as well. For the social media handles, it's at the Glow Up Tribe Pod. Just here, I think I'm going to point and just hope that it gets one of these in the edit. I really do look forward to doing life with you. As I said, we're in this together. I am here as friend, as supporter, as encourager, as cheerleader, as bigger sister, as younger sister. Depends on your age, you know? Yes, let's self-coach our way through life. That's ultimately what this platform is about. This is what this podcast is about. This is why we're here. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications of our uploads, and join the conversation over on our Instagram at the Glow Up Tribe Pod.